Hey everyone, in today's video I'm going to show you how to build a really simple bridge across this stream. Let's get to it. So we're building a bridge from this point all the way across to here, as at the moment we just use this old sleeper as a plank across the gap. So it's going to be a really simple bridge design. We're going to put 4 posts, which we've already marked out with these bamboo canes, 2 pieces of wood either side of these posts just to hold them nice and firm together, and then on top of those bits of wood we're going to run 2 joists running the span, which is 3.6 meters across this stream, and then some deck boards running that way across there as well. A couple of handrails on top, and that's it. So it's a nice, simple and reasonably affordable project. So to get started, bang in the posts for the bridge. Here we are using a metal bar to pilot the hole first, as this helps to get the post in straight, and if there are any rocks in the way, the bar can break and move them, rather than shattering the end of the wooden post. We're using a post rammer to knock them in, but if you don't have one, you can use a sledgehammer instead. As we knock them down, we offer up the spirit level to get them roughly straight, and use a tape measure to get them the same height. On the other side of the stream, to get the posts the same height, we use our joists with the spirit level on top and measure. Just make sure you're using a straight bit of wood when doing this. Then, as the ground is a bit boggy the other side, we knock in some bricks to strengthen the posts. As we're working so close to the stream, we didn't want to dig holes and concrete in the posts, as ground disruption by the banks of the stream can do more harm than good. Next, we cut and fit the lower supporting pieces of wood. As we didn't want a big step this side, I dug some soil out to get them lower, once again making sure they are level. Then, before fixing them, we used a joist to measure and mark the height on the post the other side of the stream. Here you'll see how the slightest blip in your brain can make an obvious mistake seem baffling, as we were wondering why things weren't quite adding up, and realised we were measuring with the support piece above the line instead of below, which totally threw off the level. As you see, we eventually worked it out. Then we screwed in the supporting pieces both sides so it was all level, ready to fit the joists. Just a quick update on how we're getting on. We've got all the 4 posts knocked in at the right height, nice and level. We've got these pieces of wood either side of both pairs of posts, which are nice and firm, can withstand and hold my whole body weight, no problem. And we've got these joists running across that I've levelled, and they are ready to be attached. Now, we're just going to screw these in because we've got these pieces of wood that will support the downward pressure. However, you can bolt these in. If you pre-drilled some holes and put some nice coach bolts across there, that would be extremely strong. But because we've got these supporting beams below, it's not going to be needed, so I can just put some hefty screws in there and that will hold it tight. The next job is we're going to start putting the deck boards on and spacing them out, then the handrails, and then it'll be done. Now we're affixing the joist to the post with some thick screws and cutting off the overhanging wood. Then at the front of the bridge, screwed on a plank to act as a kick plate. Just positioning a few boards to start with, as here's a bit of brainstorming, working out the number of boards and gap size between them. Once we were happy, it was time to lay down the planks and attach them to the joists. We decided to use a screw thread either side as a spacer, as like the close board look. It started raining during this, but we carried on to get the job done. The issue here was because we were focused on getting the boards down in the rain, we weren't paying attention to how they lined up. So standing back and looking, we realised the edges were not straight, as had drifted, so all the boards needed to come up again. We put a string line down, which we should have done first time, to get it straight. After getting soaked through, the boards were finally down properly with a nice straight edge. Then it was time to fit the handrails. Standing on the bridge really helped get a feel for how high we wanted the handrails to be. Once we were happy, we measured and cut the post down to size. We used the handrail and spirit level to make sure the top of the posts were level. As we're using a piece of wood that's the full length of the bridge with no joins, it was easy to position and fit the handrails. For added support, we fitted some central posts on the bridge to prevent the handrail from bowing in the middle. Then the rain somehow stopped the recording on my camera when we were fitting the lower handrails. So here it is after the rain had stopped. So I thought I'd do a quick breakdown of the build to show you it closer and in detail. First of all, we started with getting the posts in. So next we braced the posts with these two pieces of wood, which are just screwed in with 3 screws either side. On something like this, you're more than able to put some threaded bar and bolts or a coach bolt across there. But in this scenario, we use screws. Next, we attach these joists and sat them on top of those supporting bits of wood. And then on the inside, screw those to the post. Now once again, you could get a bit of threaded bar or coach bolt through there. However, because we've got these supporting bits of wood, the weight is going to be distributed onto these rather than straining the screws. Then it was time to cut to size and fit these boards. Decided to put a kick plate there as it just finishes off the bridge nicely and it prevents you from catching your foot underneath these boards. We decided to go for a 1 metre width of board as it's nice and wide to allow quite a few people on the bridge at any one time. These boards are about 6 inches wide, so I recommend putting 4 screws, 2 in each end, so it keeps the board nice and firm and there isn't any wobble. If you're using something smaller than this, like pallet wood, then you would be able to put 1 screw in each end. But where this is quite wide, to prevent it from rocking and lifting up, we've put 4 screws in here. The only hiccup we had down here was having to cut this slither. As you can see, it's not a rectangle, it's more of a triangle. So these posts are obviously a little bit twisted there. And obviously on the time lapse, you saw how first time round we didn't get this straight. And after the boards were done, we moved on to the handrail. And for this, we thought we'd just do a simple window design here, as it's really easy to fit, looks effective, and is nice and strong. So for this, we reduced the height of the post down to somewhere that we were comfortable with for the handrail height. And we've got 4 screws in there just to prevent it from twisting or warping over time. I wanted the top handrail to be 1 length of wood, as that really helps the structure of the bridge and it helps to stop these posts from warping or moving over time. Then we brace the middle of the handrail with these bits of wood, so when there's pressure along the top of the handrail, it's supported there. And same again, they're screwed in through the top with a couple of screws through the base and a couple of diagonals going in there as well. Lastly, these central rails were cut and installed. They're actually wooden slotted posts that we've cut in half and then sanded to give that effect. And then to fit, there's some diagonal screws in here and here, and some of them have some screws going in from the back of the wood to support them as well. But they're in nice and solid and will be able to support someone's body weight if needed. Also from these posts, we put some large timber lock screws that come in through there. Recently we've been having quite a bit of rain, and I thought it'd be interesting for you to see how the bridge fares with this much water. And that's it, the bridge is complete. There was a few hiccups with the build and the weather didn't help. However, really happy with the end result. It's a nice, sturdy bridge. That's it for this video. Hope you found it educational and entertaining. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share. Anyone who does so really does help the channel grow and it's much appreciated. If you're interested in this sort of content, do check out my channel. There's lots of other gardening related videos on there. So I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.